Hello?
Hi, hello, is this Mikey?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mikey, this is Tommy Bryson. Just want to let you know this call is going to be recorded and potentially uploaded to YouTube. Okay?
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
All right, so how can I help you, Mikey?
I was just trying to pick your brain for some information right now.
Okay.
Just a bit about myself. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a third year college student. West Coast living, so I'm in San Diego right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I currently have an auto loan out that will be paid off by fall,
Mm-hmm.
thanks to a tech internship and all that. And I'm wanting to see if I should start or not start, but double down on investing after
Mm-hmm.
the car is paid off, or if I should focus on attacking student loans because they're all government-backed loans, so it's a
Mm-hmm.
relatively low interest rate.
Okay, so how much money do you owe in student loan debt?
Student loans right now it's about I think 17.5K.
17,500, you said?
Yeah,
And okay, and you're still in college, right?
yeah, my third year.
Okay, so how much money, and do you have a job right now?
Yeah, I work both as an RA, the resident assistant on campus, and then
Mm-hmm.
also I do like the Postmates, Uber Eats, DoorDash, all that fun stuff.
Okay, so your income is variable.
Yeah,
Okay, so my advice would be this. Let me tell you why I do the things I do, right? The thing with student loans or any debt versus investing, like when you see like a credit card debt and you see, for example, like I'm investing, it's obvious that basically credit cards are like 22%. Obviously, you pay that off first. When it comes to like the whole student loan thing, you might say, oh, I'm making 4% here or 5% here versus like 10% when investing. But in reality, when it comes to investing, right? First of all, the student loan debt is costing you a lot of money in interest. Even if you go ahead and make double the money after taxes and inflation, you're basically making the same amount of money. Does that make sense? So you're not
yeah,
making a big enough margin to justify not paying the student loan debt. Now, if you were making, for example, hey Tommy, I make 20% of my investments like Warren Buffett, and I want to basically just grab the student loan, leave it there, that's fine. It makes sense financially, right? But if that's not the case, it does not make sense. What you want to do is usually first step of the plan is you want to pay off all the debt you have and hopefully graduate 100% debt free. So when you do get started and you have a good job, the answer is you can double down on investing because basically you have no debt to worry about.
yeah. That makes sense. I was just curious because I'm here for computer science, so as everyone calls it, it's like a very lucrative field. And I
Mm-hmm.
realized that as I locked in a summer internship, and that's why the car will be able to pay off. I just want to see if I should
How,
use
mu-
that excess.
how much do you owe in the car?
That's about like 15K,
Fifteen
but
thousand dollars.
yeah,
Okay, what's the interest rate on that?
about 6.2,
6.2. And what's the interest rate, for example, on the student loan debt?
like 4.5.
4.5. So what you want to do is follow the avalanche method and pay the debt with the highest APR. Now, if I were you, if I'm being honest, Mikey, I would just sell the car and buy a beater car and just call it a day, right? But since you're basically like hoping that this job goes well, this internship goes well, everything's good, everything's solid, then if you want to keep the car, just make sure you pay off that debt first and then move on, for example, towards the student loan debt. But that means you just went for example, just having like $30,000 in student loan, like 17,000 to now an extra $15,000. Which basically puts you at, for example, like $32,000, right? Which is a lot more money. So meaning that all the money you probably make is gonna go just towards debt. Now, what I would do is if I can sell this car, cut my losses, pay the difference, and basically buy a beater car for like $3,000 or $5,000, a reliable car. Now I have a car paid for cash. I can use all my money towards paying off student loan debt and paying for school. Now, when I graduate, right? If I graduate, you're doing computer science, you said?
Yeah,
What's the average salary in your area?
I would say maybe 80 plus K
Yeah.
annually.
Okay. My friend works for IBM. He makes around, I think it's like 130 to 140, right? So I know these careers are very lucrative, right? But what picture sounds better? My name is Mikey. I graduated debt free. I have no debt, and I'm also making $80,000. I can invest how much money I want to. I can buy a house potentially, or the one to say, hey, my name is Mikey. I graduated with a whole bunch of debt, and now I have to figure out exactly how to balance out the debt and balance my investment and all that stuff. Which picture do you like more?
Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure if it was which route to take because I know that debt free part has like that peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
was just I'm
Yeah.
balancing the two.
Again, man, look, you're 30 years old, right? You're super young. It's like you'll have, for example, another 40 years or 50 years to just keep working, right? There's no rush to like just like invest now. Like you can invest, yes, right, but you also want to make sure you graduate. My focus would be, hey, I want to graduate debt free. I'm gonna use all this money to pay off all this debt, graduate debt free, and now you're 30 years from now, like in a year and a half, most likely, you get to go out there, get a job. You're making 80K, and all that income is yours, Mikey. All of it is yours. There's no student loan debt on it. There's nothing on it. There's no debt on it whatsoever. You own the car that you have. That's fine. If you want to buy a nicer car, you can if you want to for cash because you have the cash to actually do it. But what you don't want to be is one of these people, and which is a lot of people, by the way, where they have all the student loan debt, and before they know it, they forget, hey, I have four things to worry about: transportation, shelter, food, and utilities, right? Because you still have to pay for all this stuff once you graduate. So now you reach a point where basically I have so much expenses to the point where I can't just pay off my student loans at once, right? And now you're just like paying it and paying it and paying it. Before you know, you paid a lot of interest towards it, and you really can't invest. But if you graduate debt free, which you do have the chance to, it frees up all that extra cash now for more investing if that's what you want to do.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then, yeah, because I'm on pace to technically graduate debt free because I should be making like a ton as long as my numbers are right. Over the summer, I'm projected to make about 20.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean,
housing expenses-
$20,000 is
Yeah.
still not going to clear all this debt.
Yeah. And then since I work on campus as an RA,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have to worry about housing or dining since both of that is compensation for the job.
And that's awesome.
And yeah, since I get the kickback from financial aid, I am getting like true payment from the school per quarter.
Mm-hmm. How much you got?
I get about $5,000 per quarter from the school.
And you use that for your living expenses?
Yeah. There's not much living expenses right now since everything's closed.
Mm-hmm.
And dining, we get a dining plan as part of the job, so most of it just goes towards the car, really.
Why do you want this car, bro?
I mean, a lot of it was pride, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I don't come from the best background, so then it was just like, I'm not saying like towards the car, like upgrades and shit like that. My bad.
It's okay, don't worry.
Like paying it down.
Yeah.
Like paying it down. And yeah, honestly, a lot of it was just pride and just like trying to prove people wrong, especially within the family. Like, oh, you can't do it. Because I'm like the only name on the loan. So I was like, all right, bet. And yeah, it kind of went like that.
There's something called keeping up with the Joneses. And the sad thing is that sometimes the Joneses are our own family, right? Where people doubt you and you want to prove people wrong. The only person you have to make happy is yourself, right? So the idea is if you understand why you got this car in the first place and you know for a fact this is not going to make you happy, it doesn't matter what Uncle Jill or Auntie or my mommy thinks about anything. It matters what's going to be best for me. Now, do I want to have $15,000 in like this car loan, along my student loan debt, or potentially, by the way, it's going to be embarrassing, right? Saying like, oh, I got my car, I got all this stuff, and now you sold the car, you downgraded it, for example, to a $5,000 car, but does it matter what they're going to say? The answer is no, because at the end of the day, they're not the ones going to be paying your bills. They're not the one paying your salary. None of that stuff like actually matters. So if I were you, again, Mikey, right? You seem like a pretty smart guy. You're a hustler. You found a way to like make college very lucrative and graduate debt free, which by the way is going to be an amazing thing for you. But I would probably sell this car. Sell the car, buy a car you can actually afford for now. And when you have, for example, the job that you actually are working towards, you can buy a car that you want for cash. And not to say like, hey, look, I did it or I prove you wrong, but just say like, hey, I like this car and I wanted this car. It's the car that I wanted. That's all that matters. And while you're doing that, just make sure you start, for example, investing and looking, for example, forward when it comes to like, hey, do I want to buy a home? Like, what's my next plan? You know, you're 30, so potentially in the future, like, okay, maybe I want to start a family. Like, how am I going to do this? Like, you know, it's all about finding a budget, a plan for life that fits you, no one else.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was really looking into it. I'm pretty upside down on the car, especially since I use it for deliveries. So I racked up a ton of mileage. So that's how I was.
I mean, how much is this car worth?
Um, it's about like worth 12.5.
Yeah, 12.5. So if you were to sell this car, you have to cover the difference of around 2.5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can do that. And it'll cost like another 5,000 to just buy, for example, a good reliable car. You can burn the miles on them no matter what, 'cause you're doing deliveries on them, which is fine. Now you own a car, no more payments, which is awesome, right? And you can focus on like, hey, let me pay off my student loan debt, all of this stuff, focus on that. And also try to save, for example, $1,000. That way, if anything happens, you get to go on that side.
I have an emergency fund of about 2,500 right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you
Yeah.
want to keep that. And by the way, congratulations. A lot of people don't have that, especially in college, especially as adults. Like just like normal people, just like graduated or whatever. Like they don't have that whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I started getting to finances my first year here, and then that's when I learned about all of it. And then I discovered like basically everyone's channels and all that fun stuff. And that's kind of how I got into this niche.
Yeah.
Speaking as a segue for that, I was thinking about YouTube, as everyone does. And I'm kind of interested in the finance niche, and I'm not sure how I go about getting into it because I feel most finance YouTubers have something to show for it. Like everyone has like a portfolio of like 10K plus, or they're making like 6 figures or something like that. While my investment account only has about 3,800 on a green day and things like that.
What do you invest into?
Right now it's individual stocks. I was buying over the summer, last summer, as I got more job security and all that, and I felt more confident. So a lot of it was in recovery plays and all that.
So just to summarize here, right? Just to summarize here, right? When it comes to picking a stock, you want to base it on the financials of the company, right? This balance sheet, the cash flow statement, everything, income statement, everything, right? The 10K forms, the 10Q forms. You want to look through the company, competition, the math around it, basically everything about this company. If you want to do that, it's a lot of research, a lot of work. That's not what I want to do with my time, right? If you want to be like Warren Buffett, that's fine too. But if I were in your situation and I had all this money and I wasn't sure about these investments because I'm going to speculate on them, I would consider selling them if I don't know what I did with these investments. Selling them, paying off the debt on this car after I sell it, cutting the difference, and basically grabbing some money and buying like a decent car. But tell me, am I gonna sell my investments to buy liability? The answer is, if you're not sure about the investments you actually put your money into, yes, it's fine. Because if you tell me, well, I have 3K invested, but I could lose everything, versus just buy like a liability and basically get out of debt and build more income with that, that's fine. That makes sense. Now, as far as, for example, saying, Tommy, I want to do YouTube, but I don't have anything to show for it. The truth is, you have something to show for it, which is basically what you're doing right now. There's only one Mikey. There's only one story that Mikey has, right? So that's the special thing you have. You don't need to have $10,000, $100K, a 6-figure salary, none of that stuff. Your story is enough. Just going through, for example, say, hey, here's my first video. How I'm going to pay for college debt-free. That's a video right there. How I'm going to start investing. How I'm going to pay off my car. How I actually bought a new car. I mean, a used car for cash, whatever it is, right? Those videos right there. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Worry about Mikey and the story you're building for yourself. Again, don't use the same concept you use with your parents and like your family saying like, hey, they said I couldn't do it, so I bought this 15K car. Don't worry about that at all. Worry about you and saying like, hey, I have a story to tell and I want to make content around that. That's all you have to do. Don't worry about me or anyone else out there. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that makes sense. For the stocks, I am waiting for the year, which will be happening within the summer, so that it's at the long-term capital gains rate, so that it's tax-free. Because a lot of these, I'm up over like 100% since it was over the summer while they were still relatively low.
I mean, just I'm not telling you. By the way, let me just clarify here, right? I'm telling you what I would do. I'm not telling you to go ahead and sell your investments, right? Because the thing is, I have only one stock that I picked, and that was Delta. And I'm up around 128%. I'm going to hold on for a while because I know why I picked that stock. I know the financials behind it. But if I didn't know and I wasn't confident in it, I would sell it and say, hey, I'm going to use this money for something else I'm actually confident in. That's what I'm telling you. If you want to wait, for example, like the 1 year, the 1 day, So I don't think you're gonna be like qualify for 0%. You might not. Probably like 15%. I'm not sure because you're gonna make more money over the summer. So consider that also. But when you do sell, if you get taxed, for example, 0% or 15%, it is still gonna be pretty low.
Yeah, because I think long-term capital gains, it's the first 40,000 are at zero, and then it scales up after that.
Okay. If you don't make more than 40, then you should be good.
Yeah, and then another thing, I mean, watching your videos for a while, and then I saw your first video about your grind, about working at Gap, flipping phones, and doing school.
Mm-hmm.
How were you able to do all that without feeling any like effects or symptoms of burnout?
I did feel that, but nobody cares. You just keep working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look. Okay, let me rephrase it before people start dying from overworking. I
Yeah.
work from 4:30 a.m. to like around 5 p.m. these days. That's all I do. I work around like 12 to 16 hours, but that's it. Right? I have an editor to cover, for example, like the grunt work, like the editing part. I don't have to do that. I can just have him do that stuff. His name is Danny. Great work. But overall, back then, I used to have a very bad habit when it came to my sleeping habits, my health habit. I used to go to school from the mornings, like around, I don't know, like maybe like 2 p.m. or something like that. And I used to work study. Then after that, at like nighttime, I used to go to the Gap and I would flip phones in the weekends and sneakers and all that stuff. I did a lot. And on top of that, all I'm doing that, I'm basically vlogging the whole thing to go back home and edit that whole video. Now that meant I would basically edit a video and go to sleep around like 3, 4, 5 a.m. and then wake up at around 6 something to then go ahead and go back to school and do it all over again. I used to fall asleep, do a lot of things. Now, what I was doing back then was I was tasting things. I was finding out what I wanted to do and what I like to do. I knew for a fact I don't like this whole this I can't curse here. I don't like this whole school thing, but I'm going to graduate because basically accounting is going to be a great degree and I can use that for my own business. I don't like the work study part of it. I'm not going to do this as a job at all. I don't like working at the Gap. I'm not going to do this at all. Phone flipping is cool, but it's also like a full-time thing. I don't want to do that. YouTube is great, but I don't want to do vlogging. I want to talk about something that I actually care about. And finally, I found personal finance through college and studying books and so on. That's how I figured it out. But to even today, bro, like right now, me, I'm an editor. We're making around 5 to 10 videos per day. I could burn out, right? But how don't I burn out? Because basically I have a system and I focus on 4 things every single day. That's called health, wealth, love, and happiness. I exercise for at least an hour a day. I work on my wealth for basically like my job, like 12, 14 hours, no problem. Okay, that's fine. But then I have my fiance. I spend at least 3 to 5 hours with my family every day, although I do sleep early. And I get happiness from that. But I'm not a maniac where basically I'm working 24/7. No, there's a balance. There's my health, eating healthy. It's also your fuel, right? People burn out because basically all I do is work and I drink coffee all day. Oh my gosh, right? But if you work a decent amount of time, you're also exercising, you're eating healthy, you have relationships with your friends and family, you're gonna be just fine. Nothing's gonna happen to you. But just don't like that whole 16-hour day thing is usually like fake news. Like what is it, like 4:30 to 5 p.m. That's like 12 hours and 30 minutes. That's all it is, right?
Yeah, it doesn't sound that bad. Yeah, a lot of that that main question was stemming from I was feeling burnout throughout this past quarter because we're on the quarter system in my school, and I was basically it was a nonstop grind from last spring up until March, basically up until like a couple of weeks ago. And spring break was my time to relax, and I was feeling like burnt the heck out, and it was just hard to focus on things because I was trying to do like a million things at once, like the internship hunt, job security, the whole grind with the gig economy work, all that fun stuff.
But you found it. But you got your job. You got everything you're gonna do. The thing is, right? You have to understand also, right? Whatever reality you have right now is now to be your reality tomorrow or a year from now, right? You're doing all this stuff right now to graduate debt free, to have a good job, all this stuff other people are not doing. But that means basically in the future, you can do all this stuff today. So tomorrow you don't have to be like everyone else, right? So 2 years from now, when you're graduated, you can work that job, you can be investing and doing everything you need to do, but you don't need to do doing Postmates or anything else. Does that make sense? You have a lot more free time to spend time whatever you want to do.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know how else to put it, but like a suffering out like later type of.
Yeah, but don't be crazy, right? Because sometimes you can't take back the suffering. Like you'll stay with those scars forever. Just you get a lot of sleep?
I average about like 6-7 hours.
Yes, you're good. Do you exercise every day? Not every day, like 5 times a week at least?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you have friends?
yeah.
Then do you have close friends? There's a difference.
Yeah, we're very close friends. As much, I mean, it's fairly frugal with them. We go out like maybe once a week, and
Mm-hmm.
that's like somewhere fast, like Chick-fil-A or
Mm-hmm.
Popeyes or something. Get ourselves like some chicken sandwiches, like nowhere,
Yeah.
$15 max. So
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, we
That's
get
fine.
to chill. All that stuff.
And by the way, once you do start having like, for example, like a surplus of money, it's fine to go ahead and enjoy money, right? That's the reason money's here, to go ahead and
Yeah,
enjoy it. You just can't do it to a point where it's causing you harm, right? So you'll be fine. Like I asked you this question because basically you have to have a balance to life, right? So if you're getting a good sleep, you are exercising, you do have friends to actually talk to, or potentially like a girlfriend, you get happiness from that, right? If you're working very hard, notice exactly what you're working on. Don't do busy work. Busy work is basically, I can go 12 hours straight looking at emails. Is that effective? The answer is no. What drives the profits and the results of my business when it comes to YouTube? That's going to be making content. Do I need to edit? The answer is no. I can have Danny edit. Do I need to post videos? The answer is no. All I have to do is just work on making content. That's it. So find whatever. Now for you, you don't have that luxury saying, hey, I can hire someone to do this. No, right now, what you have to do is like the grunt work. I have to do Postmates. Make a schedule. How many hours? Maybe 4 or 8 hours. Okay, I have to do my normal job with the school. How many hours? Okay, this much hours. I have to sleep. How many hours? Exercise. How many hours? How much time do I have left for everything else I want to do? And take your time very seriously. If you give yourself breaks within each day, I still game for like around an hour a day every day while I'm doing all this stuff because it makes me, I like gaming, you know, it makes me happy. So it's a part of my entire like ritual every day too. But I'm not out here like where finance and money is the only thing I think about. No, I have other things to think about also.
yeah, for sure. That makes sense. Uh,
But you're doing great, man. You're doing great. You're 30. You're about to graduate. You're about to get rid of this car, hopefully, and you make a decent amount of money. You hustle to get this internship. You're gonna pay off your debt. It's awesome, bro. You're in a great spot. It might seem like you need to rush things. The answer is no. Don't rush anything. You'll be fine.
yeah, yeah, it makes sense. I think that's about it.
All right,
Yeah,
Mikey. Well,
and
great
then
conversation. Go ahead.
yeah. Oh, and in case this does get posted, if anyone goes to college, I strongly recommend being an RA, resident assistant, since they cover your
Make a
housing and your
video,
life.
man. Make a video. Make a video about this.
Yeah,
If you want to be a YouTuber, the only way to do it is to make content. Whether you get 1 view or 2 views, like I started out with, it does not matter. Make videos.
yeah,
Just make a video a week or a video every 2 weeks. Just get started. Make a video about,
yeah,
hey, how to go to college debt free, all that stuff. And when you make a video, comment on this video right here that I'm posting and say, hey, I'm the guy. I'll pin your comment and all that stuff, okay? Or just make another schedule on the appointment thing, and we can talk about your YouTube journey and all that stuff, and basically give you a shout out, okay?
yeah. Sounds
But
good. Sounds good.
but just get started, Mikey. That's all you have to do. Just get started.
All right. Yeah, sure.
All right, brother. Have fun, and thank you for the conversation. See you later.
All right. Well, good. Appreciate the advice.
All right, peace out. So Mikey right there, guys, 30-year-old guy in college, and in reality, still worried about what people think about him. And by the way, there's people that are 60 and 80 still worried about what people think about me. No one cares. No one cares, okay? You can't worry about anyone else. The idea is Mikey is in a great position. Yes, he has debt, but he's about to graduate. He makes money, so he'll pay for everything. And that's going to be amazing. He graduates debt-free. Everything's good. He's hustled so far to actually do this. Maybe not the best sleep schedule, but he's still going to get there. He exercises, he has friends. That's awesome. To me, that sounds like a hero. That's what I like to hear. But sometimes you think, hey, I am not doing enough. All these guys on YouTube are investing money. And maybe I'm a part of the problem also because I invest so much money. Talk about it. But in reality, don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Worry about yourself and just get started on whatever you want to do. But overall, guys, I had a great conversation with Mikey, and I know for a fact he's going to do great, okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow. And as always, if you want to join me on a call, well, join my calls down below. Link. They're all free. You can call me anytime. Schedule a call. I'll call you directly. And see you guys tomorrow. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. If you want to text me or tell me one-on-one, join my Patreon. Link down below, or send me a DM on Instagram at Bryson. And before I go, if you want to watch another call, here's that call right here, and click my face right here. See you guys tomorrow, And as always, peace.